Hi, and welcome back to Financial Reactions. Sorry about the absence. I had a little bit of a technical problem, but I am back, and I'm going to start with the September 3rd payment. For those of you who are new, this is the YieldMax 100 Share Challenge, where we have started with 100 shares of each of the YieldMax funds in groups A, B, C, and D starting in December of 2025. This is our portfolio performance as a whole. This is a dividend tracker, as you probably saw in the title up top. It's just called Div Tracker. There is a free version if you're interested. You could download it. I'm not connected with them, so you can try their free version if you don't have a div tracker you like right now, and you can play around with it. Okay, Group A, the annual dividend is up to $12,385. The value of the portfolio is $22,877, and we are down $5,700 from inception. The portfolio overview is, there's a breakdown of the most expensive to least expensive as far as value of the underlying. And we only have one in this group that is positive from inception, and that is GUI. The rest, as you can see, are in the red. And this is your annual dividend, so you can see over time. These are things you can play with. I like to look at this in, as you can see, Google Sheets. Group A, here he is. We started with 100 shares. Here's our start price for each of them, and this is our total investment. So let's start with Crash. Crash has, we're getting over one page here. So what we have is number of shares. As you can see, we're up to 168.45 shares. The average price is down to $3.79. So we have lost $2.88 a share from the initial price of $7. And the investment is $61.57, and that is the value now versus the value when you started. That doesn't take into account your additions through dividend. This is, so you'll see that was different than the div tracker for Crash, which is 544 down. But this is takes into cost or into consideration dollar cost averaging of your dividend payments. Your last dividend was 16 cents. As you can see, it has had a couple good ones, and then it's dropped. The dividend payment was $26.23. House with drip, this is the dividends with the dividends reinvested. Is at 59% of your initial investment. House no drip, this is if you took the payments as payments each month, you would have received $383. So it's almost 50% of your initial investment you would have had taken out, or you could have taken as a payout. So that's how the spreadsheet works. It's just a different way of looking at it. Don't forget, if you're doing this in a standard account and have tax implications, then you'll have to figure those out depending on your state and your overall income tax bracket. This is just as I do it in a 401, so there is no immediate tax liability. So that's Crash. I'm going to go through these quick because these are September's payments, and I want to get caught back up after my little mishap. So I'm going to go through these quick to get caught up, and then we'll be back on track for the October 1st payment of Group A. Feet. Okay, so the last month we are at 136 shares, so this one hasn't grown very much. It's lost $15.60 in value. So this is one started, as you can see, I don't have as many payments. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this started a month late, which is why it looks a little different. It's lost $365 off its initial investment. The last dividend was nice at $1.65, but that's not going to keep up with the falling share price. And I like this in the spreadsheet because you can see month to month your recovery rate. As you can see, it has had months where the price recovered, and then you have these last few where it hasn't. So you're only at 26%. So the payment against the price on this one is low, even though it shows larger dividends. But when you have a much higher stock price, that's why you're only at 26 and 23%. So this one, I mean, if you bought it now with its, if you think the price is going to stabilize, it might be a little better, but this one has not performed percentage wise. 5e is another one that started, I think, the same month late. And as you can see, its price has lost 11.80. I think these new ones started at 50, but when I got them into the system, this was actually the system, or what the price was the day I did it. So I missed the exact $50 entry date. This one's down 431.16 total. And as you can see, its price is somewhat, I see $2. So that's dropped quite a bit lately, but it's had some good months. The dividends are right around the dollar range, which seems to be consistent with it. Yeah, this one is only at 18.15 recovery. Like I said, these are lower because of the initial high start price and the fact that it's lost almost $12 a share. GUI. So now we're getting into the long-term ones. As you can see, we're up to 137.50. The price is only 79 cents off its start, which is why this number is in the green, because our initial investment was $14.66 and it's up to $19.07. Now remember, this is just the cost today, not dollar cost averaging of all your dividends reinvested. That's on the other side. But this one looks good on the sheet as far as that goes. Your dividend was 69, which was higher than normal, so that was a good payment. And this one's up to 33.44 and 28.69. So this one, if the price, see the price went up the last few months, so this one might be worth looking at. It is investing now. ORC. This was another one that is up overall. We're up to 147. So when this doubles, you'll get an average or an idea how long it takes to double your holding. And don't forget, if it goes from 100 to 200, then it'll go from 2 to 4 and 4 to 8. So it's compounding. So that's awesome. So we're 147.50. The price is 8.47. So it's got a bit of a negative price decay. However, the dividends have outweighed that, so you're still $130 over your initial investment. 36% with dividends, 30% without. So these are still fairly close, and look for those over time to separate. The dividends received, as you can see, are fairly consistent. And they're growing. The price stable. So you're getting, even if these stay, because you can see this one went down, but as long as it stays above the 30-cent range, because every time, don't forget, this 30 was against the 142 to give the 147, so each time this multiplies by the number of increased shares. So that's your compounding growth. Snowy. Once again, we have a little bit of green down here, so we're up to 166 shares, so that's pretty good. It's at $15, so that's $6.22 off the initial price, but as you can see, it's been in the $15 range and went down to $14 and came back up a little, so that's a positive sign. We are in the green, 370. Look at that payment though. That's what this. Look at this. It's bouncing all over the place. You've had the $1.30, the $1.20, then you had 2.45 cents, and then you had $1.29. So it does occasionally pay some really nice dividends. As you can see, it paid 174, which got us up to almost 50% return. and 39% return without drip. So those two are really separated. Tesla, both in the red. We're up to 100, but we are up to 181 shares. The reason this is in the red is we've lost $8 off of basically a 1575 stock. So we've lost a lot of your NAV, but we've only lost $169 of value because the payment is high enough to get you this high growth in number of shares, but not in dollar value enough to offset the loss of NAV. And each time, if it's, you can see the last three have been in the 30s and this one's 39, so it's paid some good payments relative to share price, and that's why you've got this a massive 181 shares. And if you're doing this for the long haul, the share growth, as long as the price stabilizes like it has the few months, this share growth is what you're looking for, because the faster it doubles, the faster you're going to start getting everything into the green. The dividend 755 is your total dividends, so we are at 48%, which is the dividend payment against your initial investment. Because even though it's the number of shares is more than 50%, this is just the cost action. And then 37. So this one, I might have to take a look at this one. If it stays stable, that might be a jump in point. TSMY, once again in the green. We're up to 151 shares, so we've got about 50% of share growth. This one has had a pretty solid decline of 560, but as you can see, it's been in the $15 range for the last 5, and it has had a bump there. So it had a real bad month, then it recovered, and then it's just kind of trickling down. It paid a 38-cent dividend, which is pretty small. As you can see, the history is a little better than that, so I'll have to check this one next month to see if it's getting its dividends back in order. As you can see, that's why it only paid a 56. We're at 39 and 32 for our house dividend. XOMO is up to 125 shares, so this one's not growing very fast. It's lost 386, and this has been, it's not no big jumps down, but it has had the steady decline. The dividends are low, 20 to 30 cents, and that seems consistent. So that's why you're 21 cent or 21%. You got a fairly small dividend, but against the share price. And then the last one in this group is YBIT, which is positive. We're up to 160 shares, so this is over the halfway point to 200. We have unfortunately lost 372, but even with the 372 loss, we are over our initial investment. You can see the payment last month was small, so that hurt, but it has been, you know, at 30 to there are a couple 50s in there. I was going to say 30-40 cent range. We're at 40%, 46%, and 37% on our dividend return. Okay, this is just a quick catch-up video. You can see, once again, these are all in the red except for GUI. Your portfolio value, this is estimated, of course, into the future. So if you're going to do this and see, hey, what would it be in 10 years? Your annual dividend would be $33,000 a year, and your portfolio would have ballooned to $166,000. And if you're young and you have 20 years left, here's the unrealistic numbers of you would have over $1 million. That's assuming everything stays the same average. Some of these, I'm not sure what they're going to do when they get down to these. Like, look at this. It's $3.13 and a share price. I really don't know if they're going to have to do a reverse split on those and how that'll affect things. And there's a couple of them are under $10 that they may do also. So we'll just have to see what YieldMax wants to do with those. Maybe they'll reduce the dividend payment to prop up the NAV so they don't have to, but I have not heard if they're planning anything specific yet. But so this is the catch up again once, like I said, and that's Group A. I'm going to do Group B here shortly. I'll take a quick look at how it looks. This is the dividend tracker is live, so these numbers are a little ahead of what I'm going to give you in the spreadsheet because I'm a little behind. And this one has GDXY. That's the one I like right now. Look at that. The price has gone up. Your shares have gone up, and it's really in the green. This is gold, and if you've been following gold prices, you know why. And Babo's also done really good. So when I do the B video, we'll take a look at those two in the spreadsheets and overall. But hey, sorry I missed you guys for the last few videos. I appreciate it. I'm back, and hopefully I'm going to start getting these uploaded, and I should be caught up by next payday of Group A, which would be on October 1st. So once again, thank you for joining me, and have a great day.